Do you think I'm correct with having McMahon, Nyes, Domi, Pacioretty, Robertson all in the top 9 as locks, not including the big guys? Do you think that's fair and accurate or no?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that especially the way Robertson played the last few games, and like
he deserves to be there right now.
He's if you go back to last year and the goals that he put in the limited play that he had, he deserves to at least to start the season in the top 9 on this team.
100%.
It's just one of those things. Like if you can just move on from Yarncroc or Camp or both, it would really free things up. I personally would probably keep David Camp if I was pushed. Like
he's more he stays healthy.
He stays healthy. He's a centerman.
Yeah.
He's a bet. Well, I know Yarncroc can play center, but he's a better centerman than Yarncroc. I just something about Yarncroc, and also like Tree Living had Yarncroc in Calgary, didn't care much for him.
You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, episode number 229. Dale, how are you?
Good, man. 229, one away from the big 230. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can. Because we've already done 230 episodes.
Yeah, no, we were actually way past that, but little misstep along the way.
Misstep. Spent a year doing podcasts that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I know. Shitty, eh?
I was
going to say the one year that they finally won a round, that was the year we did it too, right? So
and we weren't the Tip In.
And also all those playoff podcasts are gone. But,
but before we get started, we're going to get right into the Leafs, but I just want to say quickly, me and Dale have another podcast out right now. There's a couple episodes. There'll be a third one posted probably later tonight or tomorrow. It's called Tight or Loose.
Sorry, tomorrow on YouTube, tonight on the audio platforms. Okay. Go ahead.
You can search Tight or Loose podcast on YouTube. Dale can put a link in the description to the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Just go to any podcast platform, wherever you listen to your podcast, if you want to check it out. It has nothing to do with hockey. It's more just about nostalgia and growing up and funny stories and shit like that. It's a good time. It's an entertaining 30-minute podcast. Check it out. Yep. Now let's get into the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Just the Tight or Loose podcast. Nothing to do with the Leafs. It's just Chad and I talking about random other stuff.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to reiterate. I was going to say some other stuff other than stuff, but I'll just leave it at that. That's fine.
That's all that needs to be said. All right.
Yeah, man. Okay, so yeah, thanks for plugging that, Chad. Obviously, I mean, we need to try to get some viewership going there or some listeners cooking there. But anyway, look, man, I don't know what you think here. The 2 games against Montreal, they finally get cooking here. 2-1 win on Thursday, 2-1 win on Saturday. Nicky Robertson, 3 goals in those 2 games. Game winner in both. He's got the last 3 goals for the Leafs. No one else is putting the puck in the net currently. But I think this is a problem. Not necessarily a bad problem, but I think this is a problem. I'll get into that in further detail as I talk about the lineup. There's a lot of guys, a lot of names, and not enough spots. So that's what I see that this is going to be a problem. Like there's going to be some decisions to be made. Robertson needs waivers for the first time in his career. That's insane. Like he's making the team. He's made the team. Take it away.
Well, yeah.
He's making it. Like he's a lock. He is now a lock to make it is what I'm saying.
Either that or they move him. They're not going to let him get to waivers.
They need goals, buddy. You're not moving that. Bad. You're not moving that right now.
It is. They haven't really played the big boy. Like it's preseason. So, I mean, Robertson has 3 goals.
Montreal had full lineup last night.
Yeah, but it was such a fucking weird game.
Yeah.
It was a sloppy. It was a slugfest. Tons of penalties. It was a crazy game. At one point, I think half of Montreal's bench was gone.
Yep.
So yeah, Robertson has 3 goals and he's looked better the last couple games, but do I put a whole bunch of stock into that's going to carry into like a phenomenal season? I don't know.
Well, Chad, all the kid does is fucking when he's in the lineup is put the puck in the net. That's all he does.
And get hurt.
knock on wood, not
Knock
recently,
on wood.
not recently. He says
I hope it. Like
healthy.
I hope he has a breakout year, and I hope he scores a ton of goals.
Like
you're right.
They need that though. They need him. Like as a second. How many times have we talked about secondary scoring? And like here's a guy that all the kid does is put the puck in the net. Like he's just got a sense for it, man. He's sniffing around it. He's burying that fucking thing. So
yeah,
me,
the stat they said last night on the game, I didn't even know this stat that he was second on the team in 5-on-5 goals behind Austin Matthews.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's crazy.
It is.
He barely played.
I know.
Yeah, he's definitely on the team, and good luck to him. But you're right. The big thing is there's a lot of guys, and there's not enough spots.
Well, look how many guys he's outplayed. Look, we'll get into the next podcast or leading up to opening night against Montreal. I don't know if we'll do a full season preview this year or what, but we'll do something with the lineup, like what we think the lineup will look like as it gets a little bit closer. We're recording this Sunday night. There was no cuts made today. There was no media availability today. So I'm expecting maybe something tomorrow. They're going up to Muskoka for a few days here. They don't play until Thursday. So it's going to just be probably drunk fest for 4 straight days or 3 straight days here up in Muskoka. But when do you think cuts will be coming down here? I'll get into the lineup in a second, but what do you think, tomorrow? Or like you got 2 games left, cut it down, right? Like, let's get to it.
Yeah, and Berube was saying that, I mean, he pretty much wants to have his full lineup play the last 2 games, the last game especially. But he's gonna give Stolarz a full start. He gave Hildeby a full start last game.
More on that.
And he looked great. He gave Stolarz a full start. He's gonna give Stolarz a full start, and then he's gonna give Wall a full start. And he wants to basically play the lineup by the last game and even the next game coming up. He's gonna have as close to a full lineup. So I would assume cuts are coming this week.
Oh, 100%. Got it.
But I don't know when.
Like, there's no why dick around with the kids that aren't making it anymore. Like, what's the point? You got 2 games left. Just go at it. You got 4 days up leading to Thursday. You play Saturday, and then you got another 4 days off before this season opener on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. So you got time here. I'd get it down to the guy with maybe a few bubble guys. But here's what I'm saying. Like I said off the top, this is a problem. Here's why I think it is. Robertson needs waivers. Not going to happen. He's making the Leafs or traded, but I believe he just makes Berube likes him. He puts the puck in the net. Why would you trade him at this point? Just let's roll with him. He's earned a spot. So with that said, for me, I think Pacioretty's earned a spot too. I could be wrong, but I think they like him, whatever. But in no line combinations yet, but I'm just saying, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, McMahon, Domi, Nyes, Tavares, Pacioretty, Robertson, there's my top 9. Whatever combination that looks like, there's my top 9. Listen to this. So you still got 3 spots available. Here's how many bodies you got. Kampf, Yarncroc, Holmberg, Reeves, Lorentz, Dewar, even though he's injured, Steves, Alex Nylander. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. I know Steves, Marlies, Nylander, probably Marlies, but there's still there's too many bodies and not enough spots. That's why I'm looking at this as we got a bit of a problem here. Do you not think?
Yeah, they have I guess you could say it's a problem.
Well,
it's a good thing to have because they're going to be injuries and they're going to need people to come up. So that's a good thing. Who do you think somebody's going to have to go?
Out of those list of guys, who makes the team?
That's more for the season preview show.
Dewar is under contract. They could probably send him to the Marlies, put him on waivers.
But he's injured right now, right?
I know. So you could put him on LTIR to start the season. No problem there. Steves, Nylander, probably with the Marlies. I would say neither one of them stood out really. So then you're talking Kampf, Yarncroc, Holmberg, Reeves, Lorentz. Because I believe Pacioretty's on the team and Robertson's on the team. Cowan, sorry, I missed 2 guys. Cowan. I believe Cowan, they will send back to junior, and Grabankin can go and play with the Marlies. They've both been okay, but not good enough to make the team, as far as I'm concerned.
Not better than the 9 guys that you listed.
No.
Yeah,
so,
it's weird. Like Holmberg's probably going to go down.
I don't know about that.
He's going to keep Reeves. Like Reeves is staying out.
But hang on. But you could keep Reeves and have him as your 13th forward. He doesn't need to be playing. Like I was thinking, if Holmberg needs to clear,
Kampf and Yarncroc aren't going anywhere unless you trade them. They're
might have to facilitate it. Do you want two guys?
not going to not play those two guys.
Okay,
With
so
the money that they make, they're on the team.
Okay, let's say your fourth line is Kampf, Yarncroc, Holmberg, and Reeves is the 13th forward. Let's just say, okay, look at the money on that fourth line. Other than
ridiculous,
$2 million for Yarncroc, $2.5 million for Kampf. You can't have that on your fourth line. That's crazy, man. Like here's where it makes more sense. You try to trade maybe both of those guys, to be honest. Get some money in there that maybe you can spend on another defenseman at the deadline, create a bit more cap space, and you go with the fourth line of something like Holmberg, Reeves, and Lorentz. Maybe a bit more of a physical presence, a bit more of an energy line.
Which seems more Berube style.
Probably. Like if you've got Kampf, Yarncroc, and Holmberg, like they'll all go, three of those guys play well defensively, but it'll be more of an off. I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't mind to see that as a fourth line either, to be honest with you. But it's just too much money. It's too much money.
Wouldn't you want, and I'm just spitballing here, just thinking, but if you keep a guy like Yarncroc or Kampf on the fourth line, I know they make a lot of money, but they can bounce around to other lines. They do other things like kill penalties.
Sure.
Things like that. Like,
of course.
But I think at least one of them has to go.
But you can have other Domi and Knives can kill penalties.
Right.
Robertson and someone else.
You have like things happen during a game. People get hurt. Who's in the box? What's going on? You have those guys in there. They're more of a jackknife than the other guys. They can do
100%.
other things.
100%.
They just make a lot of money, and they're so tight against the cap. I don't know. Honestly, like I think Yarncroc should be gone.
And well, he's injury prone too, and he's injured right now. It's nothing serious, but like, so you're looking at a guy that you could potentially put on LTIR anyway. Like Yarncroc hasn't been healthy the last couple of seasons.
But he's going to come back, and you're going to be tight against the cap.
I know,
like,
and they haven't even signed Pacioretty yet. I just think they're going to, and he still needs a contract. So there's just more money.
A million and change for Pacioretty. That's
Lorentz doesn't have a contract. He's a PTO as well. Have you liked what you've seen out of him, or where would you go there?
Yeah, I thought he's been a beat, like you said. He plays the hard nosed, a different kind of style than what we're used to on Toronto, especially if you're comparing him to Kampf and Yarncroc. A different style, more get in your face, more north south, hard hitting. I like him, but at the same time, it's a business game. So as much as I'd be like, oh, I'd like to do this, if you have two guys on your team making $4 million on guaranteed contracts, they're going to make the team. They're going to play.
Yeah, no, you're right. So what do you think? What's your gut tell you that they're going to do here? Like, do you think
one of them's moving? Kampf or Yarncroc, one of them's moving on.
Do you think I'm correct with having McMahon, Knies, Domi, Pacioretty, Robertson, all in the top 9 as locks, not including the big guys? Do you think that's fair and accurate or no?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that especially the way Robertson played the last few games, and like
he deserves to be there right now.
He's if you go back to last year and the goals that he put in the limited play that he had, he deserves to at least to start the season in the top 9 on this team.
100%.
It's just one of those things. Like if you can just move on from Yarncroc or Kampf or both, it would really free things up. I personally would probably keep David Kampf if I was pushed. Like
he's more he stays healthy.
He stays healthy. He's a centerman. Yeah. He's a bet. Well, I know Yarncroc can play center, but he's a better centerman than Yarncroc. I just something about Yarncroc, and also like Tree Living had Yarncroc in Calgary, didn't care much for him.
No, he didn't.
He's probably going to be the guy that they get rid of. Yeah. But if they can start the season with him on LTIR, I bet they do that.
I'm not sure what they're going to do here, but
I heard he's like been cleared to play.
Yeah, I heard the same. So like a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now is all I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm just saying like this is a bit of a problem. It's more of a money problem really than anything. You got a couple guys, well, more than a couple, but you got two guys that potentially are fourth line guys, Yarncroc and Kampf, who are making $5 million between the two of them. Can't do it. Like you just can't
do it if they're on your fourth line.
No fucking way. No way.
Yeah, too much.
I just don't see either one of those guys higher up in the lineup at this time. Anyway, I'll move on. Hildeby, just want to talk about him for a second. Yeah, man. I thought just holy smokes. Talk about Bell Center, Montreal Saturday night. Habs basically dressed their full lineup. Crazy game, like you said, penalties going back and forth and all that. this kid looked fucking great. Just great.
Yeah.
Cool. And what I think Berube said, cool and calm, or whatever he said. And that was like, he let in one goal, which was a fluke Habs power play at the end. But I just love the way this fucking beast, I like to call him Hillbilly.
This is the first time you've ever said that. Like who do you say that around that you love?
I just said it. You're the first one.
Yeah, but you said I love to call him Hillbilly.
No, I like to. I'm gonna start calling him Hillbilly.
Okay, you don't actually love to call him Hillbilly. You just thought of it now.
Yeah, Hildebeest. Okay. Hildebeest doesn't do it for me. It's not the bad. It's not the bad. It's not that bad.
It's not the bad.
No, it's not the bad. But I got a little mixed up with Louis Domingue there. Not the best. Not the bad.
Not the bad.
But
not the good, not the bad.
No. But I think Hillbilly's a perfect name for this guy. But what an absolute monster, man. Like, just insane.
Yeah. The crazy part about it was, like, I watched the game and like he had nobody in front of him. Like it was the AHL roster going strong, and it was such a sloppy hockey game. And yet, you're right, he was cool, calm, composed,
really good,
great,
bright spot, man. Like
out front, holy shit, the Leafs were.
It's just
insane.
Like we know, and like we can get more into goalie talk maybe on the next podcast. Maybe not.
Let's see what Stolarz and Wall do in their full game starts.
Exactly. So, but I'll tell you this: like if something happens to Wall, if something happens to Stolarz, knowing that I think he probably has surpassed Murray on like I think so. Like, I mean, just that one game.
Are you taking back your claim that Matt Murray will play a game by Christmas?
No, I still think that's very likely because you never know what Hildeby could have an injury, and then
that would be 3 goalies having to go down before Christmas.
Not necessarily, just 2. If something happens to Wall or Stolarz and something happens to Hildeby, then Murray's backing up, and if it's a back-to-back, he's probably going to play. So
I
see
what you're saying there.
There's a scenario where I still think Murdoch gets in there. I'm rooting for Murray. I hope he rebounds. I hope he gets his shit going in the right direction and he can find his game. But I think it's very positive that you got Hildeby now, who looks like another young, you remember them having a young goalie prospect that looked like that? It's been a long time.
Been a long time, yeah. He's so big.
Yeah.
He's huge. No, and yeah, he looked absolutely great. I loved the fact that Berube is giving full game starts to the goalies. I hate the fucking switching at halfway through the game. I get it for maybe the first 2 or whatever, but I love that he's just like, no, you're getting a full game. You're getting a full game. You're getting a full game. Matt Murray, we know you can't handle a full game, so you're not getting a full game.
No, he got a period, I think, the other night.
One period.
So, yeah, anyway, just super stoked and excited to have Hillbilly, our buddy, Hillbilly.
We love to call him Hillbilly.
Just started tonight. It's all right. All good, man.
Yeah.
But so our boy, the monster, the big Hillbilly out there, we can switch it from Hildebeest to the big Hillbilly. No problem.
The big Hillbilly.
But impressive, man. Impressive stuff. So sky's the limit for that kid. And we'll see where, if things keep going that way, I think you'll see him in the crease. Like, what's Stolarz on? A 2-year deal? I think it was a 2-year deal for Stolarz. So
yeah, I believe, I don't have it in front of me. I believe it is a 2-year deal.
Would it be, if we could get some, I don't think there's long-term plans there. He's an older cat. Like, he's in his 30s, early 30s, or just turned 30. So if you get Wall,
maybe their plan is Wall and Hillbilly.
Yeah, I think it probably is. Like, they're just
which is fine if they both play like they're capable of playing.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen Wall. Let's be honest. Last year, they start Wall in game 1 of the playoffs, and he stays healthy through that first round series. They beat the Boston Bruins.
100%. Big fucking mistake going with Murray. They've botched that. They botched that down. They botched, or Samsonov, sorry, Murray. Fuck. They botched that going down the stretch so bad. When Wall was ready and healthy to go, they kept riding fucking Samsonov. And they rode it. I know. And they rode it right into the playoffs.
Feeling, man. He had this gut feeling that after Sammy had like a mental breakdown and was down in the Marlies, and like people were remember people were like, he had to clear waivers. Nobody took him. He was on waivers and nobody in the NHL took him.
I know.
And he was our starter for game 1 of the first round.
retrospect,
crazy time.
They should have been building Wall up down the stretch to get him ready to go for game one. Yes, retrospect, but that's what they should have did.
Keith never trusted Wall. He never trusted Wall. And I think that's why they've kind of given the ball to Wall this year.
Did he trust Wall? Did he trust Sammy? How could you?
I think when it push came to shove, that was his guy at the end of last season. Like you say, they just kept forcing it going into the playoffs. Like Samsonov didn't look great at the end of the season, but they just kept forcing it. They're like, he's going to be our guy. He's going to get it going.
I get being cautious because
didn't Swayman say it? Or was it all Mark? One of them was like, I don't know why they didn't start Wall.
Oh, fuck. I get being cautious because Wall was coming back off the high ankle sprain. That's a serious thing for goalies, whatever. But anyway, whatever. Turn the page here. I only got one thing left here for tonight, Chad. I mean, there was not a lot of news, really. Like, we'll get things
about
going.
The game last night.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you what you thought of the line I hit.
I didn't see anything. I don't think there was any intent there.
It was knee on knee.
Sure, but
it was accidental knee on knee.
The guy was okay. I thought the Leafs defenseman he just kind of stood up at the blue line. There was no sticking his leg out or trying to get line A fucking ran into him.
There were two Leafs.
I know, and line A was trying to go between them. Yeah,
he was caught.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything like unfortunate situation. Have you heard any updates there, or that's too soon to say?
I haven't heard it, but I mean, you watch that in slow motion. His knee.
It looks like he's
completely back.
It looks like he's totally fucked. So,
and then after that, what did you think of Jack-Eye? Like basically attacking him.
Didn't love it, but not surprised because he was. I understand.
As soon as it happened, I was like, "That's 10 in a game." Like you can't just grab someone and start punching.
Okay, you're talking about Jack-Eye.
Yeah, I'm talking about Jack-Eye.
Yeah, he got suspended.
I saw on Twitter
today too. By the way,
fans were like, "Oh, this is the refs are favoring Toronto. It was a knee on knee. It should have been called. He should have never. He was just defending his teammate." I'm like, "Yeah, if you want to defend him, fight. Like both of you drop your gloves and fight. You don't like come up from behind and just start punching someone."
Well, the kid would have got murdered if he fought Jack-Eye. Like that guy's a tough cookie,
but he didn't even go to his face. He skated up from behind.
No, I know. Well, I don't know if you saw today, he got fined for unsportsmanlike conduct, like a financial fine, whatever. But anyway, I didn't think much of the knee on knee. I don't think there was an intent there. I just think it was a shitty situation. And I'm sure we'll hear probably tomorrow what the deal is with Line A, but
it's one of those things. Like I don't like it when one lineup is like a beer league and the other lineup full NHLers.
Every game this year, that's what it's been.
I know it scares me. It scares me like when the Leafs play their star players against guys that are trying to make the NHL, because shit like this happens. You have guys out there who are ready to die to get a spot on the team.
But I didn't see that last night. Did you? Like that's not what that play was.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, say that's Morgan Riley. He might not even go for the stand up at the blue line.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, well, whatever, let's just get the season started. But shit like that happens, and these guys don't know, right? Like they're not as skilled, they're not as talented to get out of the way and avoid knee on knees. And I get accidents happen, but it just scares me a little bit in preseason with this kind of shit.
No, fair, man.
I felt bad for Line.
Yeah, for sure. He's trying to get shit back on track, and now it could be derailed he could be out for fucking months, right?
Yeah,
so,
but I agree with you. To me, it looked like an accidental knee on knee.
Okay, so it wouldn't be. This is the last all I got here, Chad.
What are you going with now? Where are we going now?
It wouldn't be a preseason episode of the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast without sneaking in a little Mitch Marner talk before we cook it out of here. So listen to this, folks.
Good night, everybody.
No, you're going to love this one, Chad. I don't know if you caught this or not. Pierre LeBrun was on overdrive earlier this week, and he did a little seggy in the 6 o'clock hour, I think. I'm not sure if you caught this. And he's talking about potential free agents and going that need a new contract going after the end of this year. And he's talking about Marner, and he's talking about another guy that plays net for the New York. I know we just talked about the goalies a lot here, but he talked about another guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of this year, goalie for the New York Rangers, Shesterkin.
Yeah.
He said, what do you do? Did you see the segment?
Yep. I listened to it.
You heard it. Yeah. He said, what do you do, boys? if you've got Mitch Marner, who's asking for more than he's making now, so more than 11, whatever he's going to be asking for, 12 or whatever fucking crazy dollar amount Mitch's agent comes up with, and his dad or whoever the fuck's involved in that shit.
Okay,
whatever.
Don't do that.
Okay, well,
like you don't know.
Like you've never
you
heard
don't
that.
Know.
Like you've never
yeah,
heard
okay,
that
we've heard it, but we don't know.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. Whoever's whatever. You know what I'm saying? The dollar amount, whatever the crazy dollar amount is going to be.
Whatever crazy, but to like throw family under the bus and be like his fucking dad, his grandpa, everybody.
But it's not. Doesn't seem like a big
but you
secret.
don't know. You don't know.
Okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, Shesterkin, Pierre LeBrun was like, he could come in at 10 million, like straight up 10 million.
Yeah.
Do you pay Mitch 12? My whole point here is, would you pay Mitch 12 and give him a raise, or would you just basically take Mitch's money or a little less and give it to Shesterkin? And just, I mean, that's what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I remember when I was listening to it, I thought that, and the first thing that popped in my head was goalie. Like, you have Wall, you have Hildeby, you have Stolarz. But goalies are, I think, one of the easiest to trade because everybody's looking for a goalie.
Hard to trade for a star though. Like
no, I know, but none of those guys, like Wall, got a pay, like he got a pay raise, but none of those guys make a shit ton of money. Like, it's really hard to trade a Carey Price contract of $10.5 million. Not so hard to trade a young Joseph Wall at $4.5 million. It is hard to trade a Mitch Marner.
Sure. What would you do? There's your pick. Two options. Pick one. It's Mitch with a raise, or it's Shesterkin, and you know, a lot of things would have to happen. Like, if you've got plans for Wall and Hildeby in the future, then maybe that works out, and you don't need a 10 million guy like Shesterkin. But
their plans for Wall and Hildeby probably didn't have Shesterkin on the bingo card.
No.
All of a sudden he's in the play, and you're like, all right, well. That's what I'm saying.
One of the guys on Overdrive said they had a lot of success with Potvin, a lot of playoff success. They never won. They went and got Cujo. Didn't work out, but they moved off of Potvin to bring in a better goalie, which was Cujo. So to me, it was a very I had never, like, it wasn't even on my mind. I'm like, well, how are the Rangers going to let this guy walk anyway? Apparently, they've got a couple other young stud goalies in the organization where this could be a real thing.
Fuck, who's their goalie scout?
Yeah, let's hire him up. But
let's go get him and get him to find us some young studs.
Just like a straight up answer from you. If you like your feet to the fire, what would you do?
Shesterkin.
Yeah, all day. Yeah. It's all day for me. I mean, come on.
Mitch Marner's a great right winger, but we got great right wingers on this team. A goalie, like, let's face it. You said it in the last podcast, man. You said the New York Rangers would be absolute dog shit if it wasn't for Shesterkin. They would not be pushing for the top of their division. He's literally giving them like 20, 25 points a season.
Oh, he's incredible. Without a doubt.
Throw him on the Leafs. Like, the Leafs have had 100-point seasons with Samsonov having mental breakdowns, playing Martin Jones and Joseph Wall playing on half a groin. Like,
yeah, you're competing for the President's.
Solid, healthy Shesterkin.
You're competing for the President's Trophy with him.
And maybe you're competing for the Stanley Cup.
Maybe.
Does Mitch Marner do that? Does Mitch Marner give you another 20 points? Is Mitch Marner going to pull this team through a couple playoff rounds? Like a hot goalie. How many times have we faced a hot goalie in the playoffs? Where that Montreal series that they lost in 7 games a couple years ago?
Yep.
You switch and put Campbell in the Montreal net and Carey Price in the Toronto net?
Yep.
That puppy's over.
Yep, 100%.
Over.
100%.
So, yeah, I go Shesterkin all day long.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, though.
Well, why not? Like, if the Rangers are like, we're not going to spend...
Why not, man? Because the Leafs are going to sign Mitch Marner before the season ends. And they're going to be out of money.
I can't even do that. I can't do it.
I was listening to who was it? It was like Drager or somebody like that.
Drager.
And they said it. They came out and said it on whatever radio show it was. They're like, well, you know, the Leafs have got to figure out what they want to do with Mitch Marner before the playoffs, before the trade deadline. I was like, why? Why can you not wait till the end of the year?
No. Mitch needs to prove it. He needs to show it in the postseason, or you're not getting the bag of cash, Mitch. Sorry, you're just not. They falter again and they lose in the first round again. And he has no impact on the series whatsoever. Are you going to
imagine?
Are you going to have any issue at all letting him just test the market? Go and test it, Mitch. See what you can get elsewhere, because we're not.
You imagine like they give him a big bag of money. Let's say January rolls around, they give him a big bag of money. He had a great start to the year. They lose in the first round. Mitch has the same sort of playoff success that he normally does.
No.
And then Shesterkin signs somewhere else in the offseason for like $9.5-10 million.
Tree Living and Shanny should both be fired if that happens. Like, seriously. Like, that's fire roll offense all around.
The only way that they have a shot at Shesterkin, if Pierre LeBrun is reporting correctly, which he normally does.
LeBrun's good.
LeBrun's awesome. The only way that happens is you don't give Marner any money until free agency hits.
And I'm fine with that. Like, you got to wait this thing out, man, with Mitch and see what happens.
But if Mitch gets to free agency and you don't get Shesterkin, anybody can offer Mitch anything.
Well, then you've got $11 million that you can go and spend elsewhere.
There you go. I like it.
Let's wrap this.
Good point.
Let's wrap this baby up.
Good point. Anyway, for the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, I wanted to say again before anything, I am going to do the hockey pool. I had enough people do it. So this week I'm going to start it. I'll start posting things on Facebook, Instagram on how you can sign up. It'll be a free pool. Even if you miss the start of the season, you can sign up anytime throughout the season and join the league. It will be the Tip In League. Me and Dale will have a team that will run ourselves. We'll both run one team.
Oh, just one team, not a.
Well, we could do two.
Yeah, we should do two.
Okay, yeah, well, all right. We'll do two then.
Yeah.
We'll each have our own team.
Yeah, we'll each have our own team.
It'd be awesome. Anyway, for the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, on Twitter at Tip In Podcast, TikTok, Tip In Podcast, email us tipinpodcast@gmail.com. On YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell, and check out the Tighter Loose podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
We will.
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. We'll catch you later. You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.